How's your flying experience so far?
Great.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
A little scary?
A little bit.
Alright, so let's talk about you for a little bit.
Sure.
What's next for you in life?
Build the business. Continue building the business. And then, like we spoke about earlier, be a mom.
What's more important to you, the business or being a mom?
Mom.
I like that your priorities are straight. Why is that so important to you to be a mother?
I think it's where I feel the most helpful. Yeah. Like, I think why I lean towards the loans right now is because I feel like I could be helpful to more and more people to help them fulfill their own goals and dreams. But it's a little more impactful for me when I can impact others more directly. And so I see more of that being as a mom. I mean, even not as a mom, like now. Like if I have guests, I love being the person that can serve them, like make food or make a comfy and a welcoming environment. And so it just seems like it's going to be amplified when I have kids.
How many kids do you have?
I don't know. I don't have a maximum. Minimum is 2. While I'm an only child, my mom would bring in or take in a lot of my cousins. So most of my childhood, I grew up with at least one other cousin. It was great.
Yeah, I come from a big family as well. One of 11. I have 22 aunts and uncles. So my grandfather had 22 kids. And that, it's almost like building social skills, you know what I mean? Like you learn how to deal with conflict. You learn how to deal with praise. You learn how to deal with criticism. But in whatever framework you're in, like culturally, you know what I mean? Like Hispanics deal with conflict very aggressively and quickly, and then we're back to being very affectionate.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Getting hit with a shoe or something, and then I love you, give me a kiss.
Well, it's interesting too, the fact that it was, I didn't have brothers and sisters. So while there always is that kind of fight for like mom's attention,
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily their mom. So there's also this weird kind of dynamic of I can be seen as the favorite, or because I'm her daughter. So I feel like if I ever get into fostering or adopting or anything like that, it helps me kind of understand better or can relate to some of those kids better.
Tell me more about this loan stuff that you're involved in.
But the best. So I primarily focus on DSCR loans. I specialize in them. I broker them.
What does that mean?
So DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. To put it plain and simple, we're looking at the rental income of the property rather than your personal income if you're going to qualify for the loan.
Okay, so elaborate further on what a debt service coverage ratio even is. Can you give me a breakdown?
Yes. So when we say debt service, that basically means your mortgage payments.
Okay.
And coverage ratio. So how much is the rental income covering your monthly mortgage payments?
Okay, so you're saying if my rent is $1,000 that I have incoming and my mortgage is $1,000, you would give me a loan on that?
Yes.
What would that coverage ratio be? $1,000 rent compared to $1,000 of mortgage?
Yeah. So when you think of a ratio, you think number, colon, number. So that's actually a division. So rental income divided by monthly mortgage payments equals 1.0 if it's 1,000 to 1,000. So just the quick and dirty so that if anybody wants to understand what DSCRs are or how to calculate it, that's it. So, but yes, like what you're going to ask me about, we would qualify based off of 1.0 DSCR.
Okay, do you consider the full mortgage as principal, interest, taxes, and insurance?
Yes.
DITI? Okay. That's very helpful to know because in my leasing business, I use debt service coverage ratio to essentially underwrite my leases. So if I get an airplane and I have a loan on it for $2,000 minimum, I need $5,000 in rent to cover that, because I have a piece of equipment that operates. Houses don't get beat up as much as airplanes. So I need a very fat cash reserve, and that coverage ratio covers that. So let's say an engine goes out on one of my airplanes at one of my flight schools. That's a $35,000 expense like that I have to incur, not the flight school.
Yep.
So does that make sense why my DSCRs are much higher?
Yep.
Not because I want to make more money. It's because I need to hedge myself against the inevitable. I'm going to replace my engines. That's like, let's talk about this in terms of a single family home. Imagine if you had to replace your roof every 3 years. It's a big a big capital expense, right?
Yep.
Then with an engine, it's a big capital expense. Oh my. How'd you get into lending?
Well, actually, so I got into it because of the SubTo community.
Elaborate.
So I joined Pace Morby's SubTo community back in 2021, and I was doing a bunch of stuff, wholesaling, dispoing, Airbnb arbitrage, and while I was wholesaling, some of my partners ended up introducing me to a couple hard money lenders that are in SubTo. So it's two gentlemen, Chai and Prakash, and they have their own hard money lending company here in Texas. And so we were introduced to each other. They saw that I post a lot, which they do not do. And so they asked me, hey, do you want to be a loan officer and help us get some loans kind of on the side while you're doing wholesaling? And I said, yeah, that'd be cool. I want to learn more about loans, and I want to learn as much as I can about a lot of different things. I like being the jack of all trades, while I do like also being somewhat of a master of, like, the specialist. Yeah, and so that's why I was there. Really, they just saw that I was kind of doing marketing, and they thought that was good because they don't. And then from there, I got into the DSCR space rather than hard money because they didn't have a DSCR department. So they mentioned, hey, do you want to open it up for us? And absolutely. And so with that, now I have more control of, this is my company. And I really get to now do whatever kind of marketing I want, whatever kind of systems I want, all the kind of clientele experience as well.
So how do you underwrite a loan? Like, let's say I wanted to do a loan for you or from you on a property that I have. What are you looking at? And be granular for me.
Yeah, well, it's really easy for me because I broker, so I'm not the direct lender on DSCR loans. So for me, I'll look at the property, I'll look at the DSCR first and foremost, and if I want to be super nice to our lenders, I'll do basic comping to make sure that, if you're saying that the property is valued at $300,000, okay, let's actually see if it's valued at $300,000. If I'm going to look at Zillow comps and stuff, because I don't want to just take anything to a lender, because a lender is going to have their own whole underwriting process of, like, okay, if we need an appraisal done, and then based off the appraisal, we'll need all these different conditions. And anyways, but to be granular, but not too granular, we're going to DSCR, comp the property, and then I'll send it over to the lenders to get terms. And that's it.
Okay, so you're doing preliminary underwriting. They're doing the full underwriting.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And that's something that, most investors will ask me the same question. How are you going to underwrite this? And I tell them that. And so I tell them, you want to be the master of your numbers because you want to be as accurate as possible on what the appraisal is going to come back at. Because every DSCR loan, you're going to get an appraisal. That's what the value of the house is going to be. That's what your loan to value is going to be based off of, and your terms are going to be based off of. So if you're estimating $300,000 just so that you can qualify for this DSCR, but you're super off the mark and it actually comes in at like 200, that's just going to mess you up, whether you can even get the loan or not. So be good at your own numbers so that we can make sure that we can get accurate terms based off of that.
So how often do you get people who apply for loans compared to the ones that qualify and close?
I would say, I'm thinking about the numbers right now, a lot of people can qualify based off the loans. Well, so we also let people know when they're trying to or apply for our loans, hey, we need a 680 credit score. We can go down to 600, but just know your LTV is going to be super low. So we're kind of vetting people, pre-vetting people. So when they apply, most of the time, I would say like 80 to 90% of the time they're applying.
These are investor loans, right?
Yes.
Why does their personal credit score factor into anything?
So with at least our DSCR loans, you have to personally guarantee the loan. These aren't non-recourse loans. These are recourse loans. So they want to make sure that the borrower is trustworthy, and the borrower has. If they have lower credit, then it's like, all right, well, why is your credit score so low? And they're not looking at your experience with rentals or with flips as a negative. If you have rentals and flips prior to this one, that just helps you. But
yeah, that's the beauty of how I've set up my system of acquisitions, is that I'm not doing anything recourse, and my personal credit is no factor.
Yep.
And it's based off of performance. So what I'm telling you guys is I've gotten so good at what I do, they don't even care about my personal credit score or my taxes or any documents I can provide or personal financial statements or anything like that. I simply perform. She's in a different market, so if you guys are looking to get into your rental property game and you're at an entry level, she's telling you she can give you a chance. Find the lease, find the house, she finds you the loan. It's another way to cultivate your community and ask for help. It's DSCR loans that are phenomenal. It's a phenomenal product. I'm a big fan of it, especially because I use that in underwriting my own airplane deals. Do I do this on land and real estate? No, because well, for one, I don't like it. I'm not a single family home guy. I'm a land guy. And two, I don't like giving the bank my documents. I want to send an email, then I want to get a loan. It's simple as that. Fast for me always beats free. If she asks for these documents from me on an airplane loan, I'll find another lender. But that's just me because of my performance. I've been doing this 15 years. You guys aren't going to jump into chapter 15. You're going to be jumping into chapter 1. And that's where she's really able to accelerate your portfolio. Yes, DSCR loans are great entry-level loans, and they're great loans for multifamily guys too. Like a lot of banks that I work with who lend on multifamily, they have a stress test of 1.25. So let's say your rent or your mortgage on your multifamily is 10 grand. They want to see you having 12,500 coming in, and that's essentially their hedge. They're getting a $2,500 a month buffer on their loan.
Yep.
Has it been easy?
No. I don't think any business is easy.
How long have you been doing DSCR loans?
About 8 months.
Okay. And do you plan on sticking with this the next 8 to 20 years?
Yeah.
What makes you confidently say that, considering you just told me you did a bunch of different shit?
The other stuff that I did wasn't as impactful. Like, I didn't actually see who I was able to help. Like, yeah, wholesaling, I mean, I'm selling a property, or I don't know, but there's just something about it that's a little more direct, and it's going to be more direct. And I was just in South Carolina last week because I wanted to actually start going to visiting my borrowers, visiting their properties, doing videos on them, and that is what I like doing. When I can actually see what I'm contributing to, that's it. That's what gets me excited. That's why I really like these loans, because more and more, like, I do a lot of loans in Texas, so I'm directly able to see what's going on.
So this is where I'm going to start to put the squeeze on you.
All right.
Let's say you don't make any money other than what it takes for you to live. let's say that's $2,000 to $3,000 a month for the next 4 years. Are you still going to keep going after that?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, for me, I think I grew up pretty content with whatever we had. And honestly, I would have never thought I would have been here. So, or even known of somebody who flew a plane or owns planes. So, for me, this is already, I've gone way past anything I would have ever imagined. So, as long as I'm here, and if I just continue here, I'm more and more learning how to be content, and I think that's a big thing.
Do you think it would be unreasonable to say you will not be a multimillionaire if you stuck to this for 10 years and grew your business?
Oh, yeah, no, if you stick to something, I think you could definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm really trying to highlight is that she's even willing to stay to it even after years and years and years of either plateau or slow growth. It would be totally unreasonable for her not to be uberly successful if she sticks to it. Because if she gets to year 4 and then she decides to go back to wholesaling, she just literally gave up 4 years of experience. She doesn't get to decide when everything compounds. The market does. So if she continues down that path and gives it another 6 years, another 5 years, it's absolutely unreasonable to think she won't be incredibly successful if she compounds on her experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get to where I'm at, not even in the first 10 years. I mean, I'm at year 15 in aviation, year 16 actually. Started at 18. I'm at year 16 in aviation. It took me a long time to be able to do what I'm doing, and it's now just starting to compound. And then I think, man, if I double what I have in another 5 years, and then double that, and then double that, I mean, just do the math on that. That's 5-year increments of things just doubling.
Yep.
You know what I mean? What is one of your biggest fears that you currently have?
Oh my God, you weren't asking Mundo these questions. Jeez.
Yes, I was. You just weren't paying attention because you were scared back there.
That's interesting.
Is fear easier to deal with knowing you have a mentor that's been there, done that, got the t-shirt?
Yeah.
Can I give you a real life example?
Yeah.
Alright.
God, I hate you.
Alright.
I regret that.
Was that scary?
Yeah.
Okay, now that it's over, are you scared? Did you know you were safe the whole time?
Yeah, I knew I was safe.
Why did you know you were safe?
Because you have experience with this.
Is it the same in business?
Yeah.
Same in life?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's okay to be afraid, but take someone's hand and hold it and ask them for the help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you get in this airplane with me knowing that I read a bunch of books and let's say I even had a PhD on flying, but I never once took a flight hour? Would you get in the airplane with me?
No.
Why? I'm a PhD. I'm a doctor. I have a doctor in aviation. Why wouldn't you get in the airplane with me?
Because you haven't had the actual experience.
So why the fuck would you go into business with somebody who doesn't have the experience, or try to go into business on your own? Would you get in this airplane by yourself and try to fly it?
Oh God, no.
That's my biggest thing I can portray to you guys. You wouldn't get in an airplane by yourself, even if you read all the books and you got a PhD on this shit. Why would you go into business without a flight instructor or a business instructor who's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt?
Yep.
It's the same across the board, and she just proved it. Are you even thinking about what I just did to you earlier? No, because you know you're safe.
Yeah.
Like, in your heart and in your mind, you know I am totally going to keep us safe.
Yeah.
Even if it's a blind trust, it's the faith that I've been here and I've done it, and I know what this airplane's going to do at all times. Gives you comfort, right?
Yeah.
Business is the same way.
Yeah.
People have been succeeding in business for thousands of years. One of my favorite books is called The Richest Man in Babylon. And the reason that's my favorite book is because it really solidifies the point that If you're not ready for the success, you shouldn't have it. If you're not ready to be a millionaire, you shouldn't have it. And to be ready for that success and that $1 million, you have to find it with people who have experience. Nobody got to where they're at alone or without help. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where I have, the hard money lender guys, my partners, especially Chai Fansalker. He owns a hard money lending company. He's been investing for over a decade, especially in Texas, and he's the one that helps me, and we partner together on the DSCR loan. So I'm not just on this alone. Anytime he definitely gives me a lot of independence on, learn, figure it out, get the experience. But anytime I have questions or some difficulties, I can always go to him and he helps me out. Because he's been there, done that.
So he has flown the airplane, he's got thousands of hours in it. He knows what to expect from his customers.
Yep.
Just like I know what to expect from my airplane. You know what I mean? Success is a prediction based off of constant inputs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
In my world, it's the only way to put it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's why pilots, when we talk to each other, hey, how many hours do you got? What's your most recent experience? Same thing with recent experience. Just because a guy had an exit 10 years ago doesn't mean he's any good today. Business is a practice. That's why when you see like dental offices or law offices, they call it a practice, Jones & Jones law practice. Mike Edwards medical practice. The word is practice. It doesn't say graduation, haven't done it for 10 fucking years, and then come get a surgery from me.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like flying is a practice, business is a practice. You got to stay relevant in the world that you're in.
Yep. Yeah, that's why when you're applying for DSCR loans or hard money loans or whatnot, people are going to ask you what's your experience in the last 36 months. It's not just, is this your first time home or buying, or have you ever did you buy a property 20 years ago? No. It's how recent have you been doing these activities?
Yeah. You ever imagine you'd be at a wealth seminar and less than a day later, you'd be in an airplane on a podcast with a guy who's fucking nuts.
How fun!
Just kidding. You want to see something really cool?
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to do anything with the airplane.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my drive home.
Oh!
So if you look right over there, that's one of our biggest marinas on Lake Texoma. Lake Texoma is one of the biggest lakes in Texas. It gets visited by 6 million people a year.
Oh my God.
And I get to fly right over it almost every evening going home.
Ooh wee.
The beauty of this is it's co-located with people I want to be like. People who are successful in business. People who like to stay fit. I'm co-located with a golf course. I'm co-located with a resort within an event center. There's all of these amenities around me with people who really enjoy life.
Yep.
If you look around, there's people out there on the sandbar. There's people out there fishing. There's people on their boats. There's families enjoying their life. To me, I'm up. I got a bird's eye view of all of it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we're on the right base right now for the south runway. I'm going to take a nice shallow right-hand turn. And when I level the wings out, what you're going to see is my house. Woo! You see that? We're going to be flying over Highport Marina and Tanglewood Resort. And on the left-hand side, you're going to see an Arnold Palmer designed golf course.
What?
This is what I get to look forward to every evening, guys. What do we want? Airplane noises. When do we want them? Now. Hey guys, something to think about. I went from doing coke lines to owning my own flight line. If you look right ahead of me, I own that airstrip right outside of one of the biggest lakes in Texas and a beautiful golf course right out to the left and a huge resort. And that's not trying to be arrogant or bragging about what I have. It's trying to display what America gives you. If you found any value in today's Fighter podcast, please share this with someone who's going through any kind of distress, either with recovery with entrepreneurialism, you're going through a tough time, hit us up and talk to us about it. You have help through us at Chris Does Deals. You can find me on YouTube and Instagram. Love you guys. Later.